So for most of my life, from the time I was voting age, 18, till the time I was in my 40s, I was a very staunch conservative. What made me switch to being a liberal is the conservative politicians are very good at keeping people's attention on the issue and not talking about the people behind the issue. For example, when gay marriage was made illegal, um, we focused on, well, it's just wrong for two people of the same sex to be married, um, but we didn't actually listen to or talk to anyone who was gay who wanted to be married to see how it affected their life, and how hard it made it for them. So when I started to really listen to the stories behind the issues, that's what made me change my views to being more liberal. And not that the conservative politicians do that all the time. It's just they do that most of the time to pass what they want into legislation. Um, you know, for example, with these executive orders, I mean, when Trump declared the federal government would only recognize male and female, it's easy for a lot of conservatives to digest that because a lot of them just don't understand this whole gender spectrum thing and don't want to deal with it. So it's easy just to pass that, as a concept, as an issue, and just not because they don't want to talk to anybody who is either trans or non-binary, even though this uh, executive order really made them feel like they did not exist. Um, or like with the all the deportations, with deporting all the undocumented immigrants. That's easy for a lot of conservatives to digest because, yeah, they shouldn't be here illegally. They should be sent back to their own country and everything. Um, but to really hear, if you listen to people's stories about how much sacrifice they took to get here, and how much of a good life they've done here. Most of them aren't criminals. They're just trying to live their lives and have a better life, and they are contributing to the community. But again, those are the stories that a lot of conservative politicians don't push or don't want to hear because they want to keep the focus on the issue. But this recent thing, I think, will be a lot harder for people to digest. Maybe I'm wrong, but um, downsizing the government. Now, I totally agree that the government just does a lot of wasteful spending. Totally agree with that. But is the answer really firing thousands of people, real people? This is why I say it might be hard to digest because these are like our friends, our family, our neighbors. These are just people just like everybody else, going to work, trying to make a living, trying to pay bills, keep a roof over their head, food on the table, clothes on their back, or take care of a family if they have it. You know, these are people that went into work and suddenly found out they didn't have a job. And when you start to think of it that way, you start to sympathize with them more. And maybe that's not the answer. Putting a lot of people out of work, giving a lot of people hardship over this. Um, and some people might say, well, they should have taken the buyout. Well, maybe they liked their job. Maybe they didn't want to take a buyout. I mean, they weren't presented with take a buyout or you're getting fired. That wasn't how it was presented. They were trying to downsize the government by offering buyouts. That's how buyouts work. I know because where I used to live in that area, Lordstown was big with GM, and GM offered buyouts to employees to downsize their workforce, but they didn't fire everybody who didn't take that buyout. Um, so that's how those work. But like I said, if anything I'm saying makes sense to you, maybe try to really focus more on the people behind the issues instead of just the issue itself, and it might just change your perspective like it did for me. It might help you to show more empathy to the people who are being affected by the laws and the executive orders that are coming